Today is November 18th, 2020. We have two I can statements, but we're going to write them and talk about them one at a time. So the first thing we're going to talk about is simplifying fractions. Go ahead and write this down, pause the video, and then come back. So I can simplify fractions. Another thing you might hear is to reduce fractions or put fractions in their simplest form. So what are we really doing when we are simplifying fractions? We are making larger units by making smaller numbers. When we are doing that, we are also creating equivalent fractions. Okay, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about in just a few seconds. Simplifying fractions is a lot more simple than you think. Here we go. Look at the fraction 2 sixths. Well, we learned a couple days ago that you can create equivalent fractions by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and that would create an equivalent fraction, just like this. I can multiply my numerator by 3. Remember, whatever I do to the numerator, I have to do to the denominator. And this creates an equivalent fraction. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 sixths is equivalent to 6 eighteenths. It represents the same amount. But what really happened is sixths are much larger units than eighteenths. 18 is a bigger number, but the units are smaller. We want to do the opposite when we are simplifying fractions or reducing fractions. So let's take that same fraction, 2 sixths, and this time we are going to simplify it. Okay? So I'm just going to cover this up for a second. We don't want to get confused. So when I know that I need to simplify, there's a question that we need to ask ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little person here. Little person. And he's going to be thinking, what can I divide the numerator, and I'm just going to put an N for numerator, and the denominator by evenly. Okay, what can I divide the numerator and the denominator by evenly? Okay, here's a hint. This is an important hint. If the numerator and denominator are both even numbers, you can always start by dividing by 2. We know that they will divide evenly by 2. So there's 2 really important things to remember. They need to go in clouds in your journal. Be sure that you have written this in your journal. So pause it and then come on back. So here's our first question. What can I divide the numerator and the denominator by evenly? So let's look at 2 sixths. What can I divide 2 and 6 by evenly? Well, if they are both even numbers, I can always start by dividing by 2. Can I divide 2 by 2 evenly? Yes. Can I divide 6? 6 divided by 2? Yes. So watch this. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Girls and boys, I have created an equivalent fraction, just like I did over here, but what is the difference? Yeah, instead of multiplying the numerator and denominator by the same number, I divided the numerator and denominator by the same number, and I made larger units. It's a smaller number, but that means that it is a larger unit. 2/6 simplifies to 1/3. Get ready to watch the next video.